Okay, you can start.
So good morning everyone. I'm about to start my presentation, which is called The Possible Influence of Cooperative Learning on Students' Participation in Speaking Activities. So let's start by giving you a brief introduction, which is what led me to the research question. Well, basically in the school, I saw that students tended to participate more when they were with classmates instead of working individually. So the justification of the problem, I'm going to read these ideas by different authors. Well, I forgot to write the year here, which is 2015. Well, UNESCO says that education gives people an opportunity to connect with the world. And Minnedu says that English should be taught for communication mainly at schools. Group work can enhance a students' talking time, therefore their speaking skills are highly likely to be improved. And students struggle even more when working individually, according to Gani Yusuf Hussein in 2016. And cooperative learning gives opportunities to work with peers and to think and process information externally. And Sarotsky, Benson, Puran, and Bad Nai, 2006, says that there is greater involvement and participation when the students have to work in group. So based on all of these ideas, it can be said that if the students work better when they work with classmates, cooperative learning could improve their participation or enhance it. So here we have the research question, which is written bad because we have two auxiliary verbs here. It should be how may cooperative learning influence students' participation in speaking activities. That's the right question. Sorry for that. And of course, the purpose of this study and the general objective is to understand how cooperative learning influences students' participation in speaking activities. And here we have the specific objectives, which are to identify students' level of participation at first, then identify how cooperative learning may address students' participation, to finally determine the influence of cooperative learning on students' participation in speaking activities in an EFL context, of course. And here we have the research assumptions, which are based basically on these two authors. Which, well, first, Trump claims that cooperative learning gives the students the opportunity to work with peers, and Sarotsky, Benson, Poor, and Vanderbilt state that there is greater involvement and participation in group work. So the assumption is that participation could be directly connected to the students' participation in speaking activities may be directly influenced through the use of cooperative learning because it gives us the opportunity to work with peers and to feel more comfortable. So, about methodology, the paradigm used was the critical one, which is defined as its purpose is not merely to understand situations and phenomena, but to change them. And in this case, we want to understand how cooperative learning influences students' participation, and regarding that, improve their participation or enhance it or increase it. And the approach was the qualitative approach. Well, I used the qualitative approach because of the nature of data of this report, of this study, which is basically all based on observations. Here we have some characteristics of the qualitative approach, according to Cruisewell 2014, which are natural setting, which means that the researcher has to take the information directly where the problem emerged from. The second one is researcher as key instrument. It says that the researcher should be himself the ones that gather the information. In instead of taking information from other teachers, and multiple sources of data. But in this case, it's going to be used field notes, interview, and a journal. Well, the procedure. Well, before carrying out the study, I had to find the problematic situation, then go to literature to look for references to support the idea, and to finally formulate an appropriate question. Well, next semester is going to be applied this. The observation at first, in order to select the participants and elaborate the lesson plans that are going to be used. And then we have the action research stages, which are planning, action, observe, and reflect. The planning is elaborating a plan, basically a lesson plan based on observations and an interview done to the teacher. Then we have to put into action the plan in the intervention, then observe how everything is going, and reflect upon the whole process. And of course, we have data analysis, in which we have to analyze all the data collected through the different data collection materials, and finally to write the findings and conclusions of the study. The design. Well, the design is action research, which, according to Mills, as cited in Cruisewell 2012, page 577, are systematic procedures done by teachers or other individuals in an educational setting to gather information about and subsequently improve the ways their particular educational setting operates, their teaching, and their students' learning. Well, putting it in simple words, is basically to find a problematic situation and then try to bring about improvements for it. And here we have the action research steps. According to Keynes and Matar, as cited in Burns 2010, page 7, which are the same that it just explained. To elaborate a plan, put it into action, continue observing, and reflect upon the whole process. And subjects and setting. It is worth mentioning that the research question emerged from Liceo Profesional Don Cifuentes this semester in a 10th grade with 33 students. Well, the students are going to be chosen purposely with a maximal variation sampling, which is defined as a purposeful sampling strategy in which the researcher samples cases or individuals that differ on some characteristic or trait. Well, in this case, the students are going to be chosen this way. The 3 students that participate the most in class and the 3 that participate the least. So in that way, I would have both perspectives of the issue. Well, the materials, according to Cruisewell 2012, in qualitative studies, it can be found 4 forms of data, which are observations, interview, and questionnaires, documents, and audiovisual material. Well, the ones that are going to be used in this study are interview, one to the teacher to get his perspective or her perspective, another to the students to get their point of view, of course. A journal to get their perspective, the student's perspective too, but in a way, in a free way. And field notes to get my own point of view during the observations. The proposed data analysis techniques. Well, according to Cruisewell, the object of coding process, which is the process that is going to be used to analyze the data, is to make sense out of text. Data divided into text or image segments, label the segments with codes, examine codes for overlap and redundancy, and collapse these codes into broad things. Thus, this is an inductive process of narrowing data into a few things. Well, basically, this is trying to put up all of the textual data into things in order to have just a few things, basically. And the considerations of trustworthiness. The criteria used in this study are the ones set by Newell Lincoln, as cited in Luba 1981, page 79, which are credibility, dependability, transferability, and confirmability. Where credibility is going to be ensured via having all perspectives in the interview, for getting the teacher's perspective, the journal and interview to get the student's perspective, and the finals to get my own perspective of it. Dependability is going to be ensured by having more than one source of information, which are the interview, the journal, and the finals. And transferability is going to be ensured by giving a detailed description of the setting, the context, the participants, so that other researchers can apply the same study in similar conditions. And confirmability is going to be ensured by a triangulation at the end of the process, by triangulating all the information data, all the information collected through the different data collection materials. The expected outcomes, well, understanding of the phenomenon. It is hoped that this helps to understand the real importance of cooperative learning in the classroom, which can enhance or increase the students' participation in a class. Practice on policy making, well, after this, schools or teachers could increase the number of cooperative learning activities in order to increase their participation. And possible limitations, there could be fake classes because of the presence of the researcher in the class, which could lead to misperception of data by the teacher or by the researcher because of the students behave in a different way. The metacognitive analysis, where the teacher-researcher's role, well, the teacher-researcher's role plays a fundamental role in education because teachers, researchers try to find problems in education in order to look for improvement for it. So in this way we could have a better educational system. Regarding the strength, weakness, and challenge, my strength is that I try to create a friendly atmosphere, a relaxing atmosphere in which the students feel free to ask any questions or make comments or that. And my weakness is that sometimes I speak too fast, as you may notice right now. But this is because I am used to doing the lessons here for my classmates, and my classmates understand when I speak a little bit faster, but my students don't. So regarding this, arises the challenge. And here we have a quote that it says regarding the input. To be beneficial for L2 learning, the input has to be comprehensible because we can't process what we don't understand. So in order for the students to understand what I say, I should speak a little bit lower, a little bit slowly. That's according to June 2010. And here are the other references used in the presentation. In APA form, look at that.
Thank you.
And that's all.